Thanks for jumping on today. And yes, tell us a bit more about the quarterbacking. So you play quarterback in the opposing team, do you? To challenge
Yeah.
guys.
So I coach American football on a smaller school, and our numbers are kind of low sometimes. And for our starting defense to get some quality reps, us old washed up athletes step up on the field and play that scout team role, so our starters can get a better look, because some of our young guys just can't execute well enough for our guys that play on Friday nights. So I got another coach that's a good athlete with me, and we just we have fun and relive some glory days and try to get our defense better. But it's really about trash talking our other players and making them look bad, because we're old and we can still school them. So it's fun.
Did you play quarterback when you in your day?
No,
Or no?
no, I'm too damn short. So no, I was the slot receiver, running back type in high school and college. So
Very cool. Do you can you see where the screen share option is for you there?
I can. It should be good to go. I've been doing plenty of Zooms.
You full-time coaching now?
Yeah, I'm full-time training now with the new facility that a friend of mine bought a gym, and can everybody see the presentation? Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, I've been coaching American football for 14 years. I've been a head coach. This is my fourth year. We play in the fall, so we're getting ready for the season right now. And I've been a high school special education teacher. And then I just resigned because I want to go into this full time, and we'll get into that a little bit. So I've got a little facility that's kind of a boot camp gym, and a friend of mine bought it. So we've expanded training out of there, and that's where I'm at. So we'll get into some of that background in the first couple slides, but we're ready to go. We'll start. Okay. So this is kind of just the title page, obviously. So what I'm doing right now is I'm integrating ATG principles, programming across a lot of different populations, as you can see in the title. And as I process where I'm at right now and where I was and where I'm going within this community, I think I started where the ATG was kind of a side dish, and now it's becoming the foundation of everything that we do and everything that I'm doing within my training personally and professionally. So just a little tidbit about me, and I know Keegan's keeping this at 10 to 15 minutes, so give me some hurry up non-verbals if I'm yakking too long. So here's the family. I was a young dad, so that tall blonde kid is 21 right now, and I'm 39, so you can do that math. So I got started early in life, and picture is a couple years old, but that's the last one we had together. A guy that just said he was from Phoenix. My son's in Scottsdale. He's a trainer down in Scottsdale. He has his own company down there, so maybe we can connect about that sometime down the road. But I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I've been a Christian my whole life. That's the foundation of everything I do. That's just how I build out my life philosophy. So agree or disagree, that's just me, and I've got to lay that out there first. Husband, father of four. The kids' ages are right there. Recently resigned as a teacher, like I said a second ago. I've been coaching football, done a little bit of basketball too, but nothing worth mentioning beyond that. Three Pillars Performance is my company. We're in the infancy. We're growing. Pretty busy this summer, and we're gonna make some transitions and hopefully stay busy when all those kids go back to school here in the fall. Played some college football. Got to do that, and then just education briefly. Life's the biggest educator. Nothing teaches you like just going through ups and downs of life and doing those things. I've got a couple different bachelors in secondary education, social science, and special ed. And then I've got 2 master's degrees, coaching, athletic administration, and then exercise science. So all that's just the formalities, I guess, and moving on there. Here's some of my bigger influences, past and present. you can see the list there. I won't insult your intelligence to read it, but most of those are probably familiar faces. So kind of philosophically, I'm kind of a mix of, I kind of cut my teeth on some Louis Simmons, which a lot of people did. And I know people in this community are very familiar with Westside Barbell and conjugate training systems. But I kind of moved on to being a heavy Cal Dietz fan, and triphasic. His programming is very good for athletes, and he might be my favorite American strength coach. I just get a lot from him, and through him connected to a lot of people in the neurology world and the posturology world. A lot of guys that are very sprint and speed focused. So again, that's just some copy and paste pictures of some guys that have influenced me over the years and currently are. And then, down to Ben and Keegan and Lucas Aaron, most recently within these communities the last couple of years that I've been involved doing this stuff. So going on. So kind of a little bit how I approach my coaching and my training and life in general. I'm really after truth, whether it's popular or whether it's mainstream. I think that's what attracts me to the ATG community. That's what attracts me to some of my other networks that I follow. I don't always think you have to be like different just for the sake of being different, but I also have found more truth underneath the surface than I found in front of my face. And so that's just a learning process for me personally, that when I've found the most things that work the best, they seem to be, under a few layers deep, if that makes sense. I'm really into minimal effective dosing. I want my football players fast, so I don't want to burn out their CNS. I want my athletes to be speed centered. And so that's really giving them everything they need and really paying attention to the central nervous system and programming. I won't get into this because it's not about football, but we have specific days where we're trying to keep our kids at certain levels within their central nervous system so they're ready to go, obviously, by game day and things of that nature. One of my favorite quotes is "Tired and sore is the enemy of performance." I'm a longtime recovered meathead football coach and weight room guy. We don't run kids into the ground. We don't, or whether I'm at the gym or at school, if you're tired and sore, you can't perform. And so we really try to hit that home. And so very anti things like the grind and, you have to outwork people and things like that. That's not what I'm about. Just about really being efficient in everything that we do. Build from the ground up is huge. I don't train with shoes on. Nobody that trains with me gets to wear shoes unless it's a safety issue. Kids at school, they do, because I don't want some goofy freshman dropping a weight on their toe and I get in trouble for it. But other than that, when it's within my control, we're always shoes off. And just for nothing better than it's worked for me. It makes sense. There's a lot of research that supports it. Building from the ground up, having strong feet, it's your strong ankles and strong knees and moves up the chain. So full range of motion and range of strength things are huge for me. I like to collaborate with like-minded coaches and mentors. The older I get, the less room I have for BS, and I don't really just like to waste my time anymore. So I've got, this network and this community that's fantastic, and I've got kind of that Feed the Cats track football consortium, Tony Holler and Chris Corfist and those guys. That's kind of the other network that that I go back and combining these worlds. I think there's something really special there. Always stay open-minded and humble. That comes with age, and that comes with experience, and that comes with failures, obviously. And just, I'm kind of addicted to school and kind of addicted to learning. I'm done with formal education. I'm done wasting money on that. But man, there's a lot of rabbit holes that I'm just starting to go down. I'm super excited about. So just some of my favorite quotes there. Just kind of, I guess, explains who I am a little bit more. Moving on here. Early on, I've been hanging around this community, whether it's, ATG or Real Movement and the mixture, for about 2 years, just dabbling. And then I've probably been a paying member of both sides for 1.5 years at least. But the things that I've started doing stuff with my football team and really, sprinkling in things like tib raises and those split squats, and even just getting rid of some modalities. that we've used traditionally. And I got the picture here that just made me think about how some of this stuff has opened up some of my athletes. This kiddo here was an 8th grader last year, and he couldn't squat parallel 6 months before that. And, I mean, that's not bad form. I'm not saying this is like the example to lead all examples, but that he stood out. And if you just seen him before, I don't have a before picture, but he couldn't get to parallel, and he's awkward, and he's a 6'2" 8th grader, so he's like a baby deer or a baby giraffe. So if he can get down there, that's when I start seeing things like, wow, you're squatting low and it's not looking terrible, and okay, this stuff's working. So some momentum started. Keegan had a big event. Heck, I don't even know, over a year ago. He's kind of relaunching some real movement things, and I got to be in on that and have some one-on-one time and get to know him and his brother. And then there's a podcast that I'd submitted a question, and he basically did a little short podcast on, hey, basically I'm afraid to start my own gym because I'm making good money as a teacher. I've been doing this a long time, and what do I do? Because I know this is what I feel like I really want to do, but I'm older and I got a family, and I got to be honest with you guys. If you're a single guy and you're young, like, live it. I mean, do your thing, because it's not the same. So I'm jealous of you guys a lot. Be honest with you, some of you that are, you've got that freedom, and we all make our own choices. And it's just a little bit more difficult when you've got people relying on you, and you've spent a lot of time and money into a career, and you just want to, almost 40 years old, and then, switch it around. So anyway, a lot of influence from Ben and his kind of his old crew, Mr. Infinity and Connor Barth and those guys. I was watching a lot of those videos and just kind of learning, and then end up joining, like I said, both memberships, and now it's combined, so it's really friendly, and I'm really glad that all that integrated and what's happening. So my biggest thing is I'm combining this stuff with neurology and the ATG principles. It's really getting great results. So I'm big on RPR. I have a couple certifications in that, and just keep going down. There's neuro spike balls. We rub our feet on those every day before we train, just to get some tactile sensory motor system going. And so, like I said, once it's kind of used to be a side dish, and now it's kind of the main course that's feeding everything I do. Some shots in action here. Okay, so everybody that trains with me, whether it's my football team or my personal clients, they're getting the Knee Ability Zero stuff in their programming. So like the top middle picture, that's my that's my elderly class. I don't call them that to their face, but we've got 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds in here, and obviously those movements are familiar if you're in our community. And this is my favorite group right now. They are positive. They're encouraging. They, just to see them open up. And I don't know that they've ever had ranges that they're getting to now. And it's just really fun and encouraging. We're only a month in with that group. So everybody gets that. I think that's that ground up philosophy. So everybody's tib raising, everybody's doing the ATG style split squats and calf raises and all those basic things. Everybody's on sleds, walking backwards, and doing those things, no matter who you are. So I love the progressions and regressions in this community. That's really powerful. And I know most of you are very aware of that, but like the ability to work with a 70-year-old, and then the middle picture, I've got some 9-year-olds, doing some Jefferson curl practice. And it's challenging, and it's fun to have to figure out new ways to do the same movement based on where the abilities are, the ages are, the ranges are. And when with my team, when I've got 30 or 40 guys at a time, I've got to try to pick what I think is the most important stuff. And for my sport specifically, we talk a lot about that, hard versus soft and those things like that. We know we need to be strong as football players to, absorb the impact that our sport requires. So I can't, I've got to move some weight here and there, but I also want to be doing all these full range movements so we can stay healthy and stay on the field. Okay, so just some other pictures there of some examples, like the bottom centers in our school weight room, and then you've got a 70-year-old man in the bottom right-hand corner doing some reverse sled work and various things, some different Nordic progressions. It's my 9-year-old in the bottom left there. He's almost to a full Nordic right now. So he's getting close and getting excited there. It's one of our trainers that we have at the gym working with him there. So I'll keep going. Just some testimonies here. Just getting started. So I look forward to more of these, honestly. But me personally, and this is what excites me, this is obviously what keeps us all going, because we see results in ourselves. And we have to do, there's the accountability in the programs as ATG coaches to get the work done, which I love. So I'm 39. I can do things now I couldn't do as a college football player when I was squatting over 500 pounds and, benching, 360s and all, not bad numbers and things like that. But I was sore, I was tired, and I was beat up. And I tendonitis in my knees, and my biggest motivation is not have somebody feel that same way, because I would have been a lot better athlete. So you can read that. I'm in less pain. I think my body weight's about optimal, because I chase numbers, and I was 5'8" and 205 pounds and very strong, but I got slower, and I was in a lot of pain in college. And so I'm around 175 now and feeling a whole lot better, lighter, more bouncy, more, that tendon driven stuff is real stuff. And I'm excited to keep growing. I just, sometimes I make myself forget that I'm getting older and don't use that as an excuse, because the more you get into this, the more you see that age is not really that big of a factor. It matters, of course, but so my vertical jump is almost 30. It's not like blowing you out of the water, but I don't think I've ever been that high. And I want to get a couple more inches by the time I'm 40. So setting some personal goals. My wife, a couple pictures of her, she's doing some things that she's never been able to do since high school. She had really bad knee pain, a lot of patellar tendonitis and pain like that. So she would never squat. She was a triple jumper in track, and she had, entire seasons where she'd only jump in 1 or 2 meets because of her knee pain. And you can see she's got some pretty good range of movement there. And you might have seen her on some Instagram things here and there too. Sometimes pretty ladies get more attention than us ugly guys. So she just puts something on Instagram, she gets a lot of love. But there's just kind of some shots of things that I can do, that I probably wouldn't ever thought about before, buying things like rings and parallel bars and stuff that I never would have considered before jumping down this road. So testimony there is from a Division I track athlete that literally worked with me 3 or 4 sessions and then just kept doing exercises and had to go back to his track program. And he didn't have any money, and you don't want a NCAA college athlete paying you and getting him in trouble. So we did a couple secret sessions in the basement, and he kept doing it, and he's got great results. So anyway, just getting going. I want to keep people on the field. I want to keep people out of boots and keep people out of braces. The older people are giving me great reports every day. They're excited. They're feeling better, getting off the ground easier. I just watch them start to move, and sometimes it hurts to watch old people try to get off the ground. And that's a demographic that I didn't know that I would enjoy so much. So I'm going to go after some more of those clients personally, because if you can improve their quality of life, which this stuff certainly can, then why would you rob somebody of that experience in their last years? Just getting going with his business. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I've been training people on the side, but now I'm all in. And so my entire income and everything is based on how successful this is. So it's risky. It's scary. And I have doubts, multiple times every day, to be honest with you, but I believe in what we're doing enough to take this leap. And so, some example of programming here. I don't know how well you can see that. Hopefully, this is 3 examples of right now what we're doing over the summer with my football team. And if I've got a high school athlete training privately, it's very similar. I can sneak a few more things in a private session because I'm not watching 30 guys, but this is some of the things. So I intertwine these ATG modalities with some neurology reset stuff, things like the split squats and BMO squats, and even just raising your heels on the front squat. Have replaced kind of some of those old school movements. I don't remember the last time I put a bar on a guy's back. I've given them a choice a couple times just to really see what they'd prefer, see if they're moving away from that. Most of us know most youth people can't perform a really good back squat, and so I don't think it's a movement that is bad by any means, but from a mobility standpoint, I'd rather try to keep it more safe and keep the load um, off their spine. So I think um, there's just different ways to attack that. So the oldest and the youngest that I train, they get some knee ability, some range of strength stuff, and some 1x20 stuff like Dr. Yesis, and some block zero programming, which is just basic movement, basic strength, a lot of isometric stuff there. I got some older adults, kind of like guys my age that want to get back in shape. So we've actually played with some zero gravity this past week. We all got really sore, and but I've been using a lot of the belt programs if you've been in real movement for a while with them too. So I'm glad that stuff's still available on the app too. Big triphasic Cal Dietz guy. I like concentric and isometric and eccentric principles just as a whole. I think it's a great way to get people some baseline strength. And so this is kind of an example of we're on a 3-day program, 3-day block at school. And so I'm playing. It's fun. It's fun to create things. And I hate what I did 5 years ago, and I dislike what I did 2 years ago. And we'll see what I feel like about this stuff down the road. But focusing a day on linear speed, max velocity speed, and I combine that with eccentric strength. I'm not saying these are the perfect pair. This might not be peanut butter and jelly go together, but I've got 3 days and I've got a team setting. So I'm trying to prioritize the best way. And these kids have other camps, they have other sports. So, and then, day 2 is acceleration and deceleration and isometric strength in the weight room. We always do our running stuff first. And then we have the plyometric day with concentric strength. So we're trying to match the movements. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's mine. It's things that I'm, gaining some pride in because it's combining some of the best things and the best networks that I've ever come across and moving stuff in. So you can see some familiar things there from the ATG system, and then some basic movements that we all know as well. So that's kind of to wrap up here, I guess, kind of why I'm all in right now. One, it works. Obviously, I think it is a missing link. What we're doing here and how we're growing as a community is missing link to what I call westernized here in the U.S. training, which is kind of old school bench squat clean guys, and nothing wrong with those movements. But I think we're we're filling in the gaps here. We're filling in the missing links. I've got a lot of clients that are still training at their schools, and they're coming to me and doubling up, which is throws out an alarm for me right away, because I'm not trying to wear them down and get them hurt. So I'm very frank with them when they come in. If they're working out at their own high schools and coming to me as well, that we're just going to try to fill in those missing links. We're going to try to fill in those gaps, those holes, with things that I know you're not doing at your school. And so that's what we prioritize. I'm always seeing how they feel, what they did. If they had a heavy squat day at school, we're obviously not going to go back after their lower body very hard, and we might just work on those little movements and tip raises and the little stuff, the cleaning it up things. And then my dryer went off, excuse me there. You get clear results. Community support's great. The accountability piece as a coach, you've got to put your money where your mouth is and do the movements. Personal goal setting, there's never, we're on the message boards. There's everybody's sending things every week to level people up and give you opportunities to set new goals and to reach new plateaus. I think it can be a great complement or the primary methodology that you use in your training, depending on your clientele, where you're at and what you're doing. I know there's a lot of martial arts people in this community, which I know next to nothing about, but I think it's really cool that this is what we're doing crosses so many demographics. the future is definitely bright. There's definitely some great momentum going. You hear about it all across the world. It serves everybody. So I can feel really good about the product that I'm providing for my clients, and how we can serve them best, because there's something for everyone, which is really important. And then for me personally, and for all of us to a certain degree, it gives us an edge or a niche or a specialization, right? It's a watered down market. There's trainers everywhere. What are we going to do to be different? What problems are we going to solve? And this is movement. This is opening people up and improving their lifestyle. And I know that's what everybody's after. But as well as I do that a lot of people aren't in doing this stuff into it as deep as we are. And that's what's going to set us apart. That's really all I had. I know I'm not sure where I'm at time wise, but I'm probably right at it or over. So contact information, 3 Pillars Performance, phone number, and I know this network's not huge on Twitter, but that's where I've connected with most of my football coaching world. And just that's kind of a life quote for me. Probably will end up tattooed on my body somewhere pretty soon, but I really hate the status quo. I always have. Machiavelli there, quote. So that's what I got for you. That's just how I'm doing it right now. Nothing earth shattering, but I'm living the system personally and living it professionally, and looking forward to continuing to grow down the road here.
Love it, Wade. Well done. Yeah, I still remember our first conversations there during the one of those marathon events that we ran, and sort of talking about going all in on your path. And yeah, sometimes it takes a little while, but it's only just over a year, and it's, think about how things have changed in that period of time. It's pretty cool to think about. And yeah, I'm really, it's great to see you do this today, and I'm excited for where the next year is going to take you and the impact it's going to have on all those kids and older people and your family and whatnot as well. Like it's, it makes it all the more real, and it's cool. You had the courage to share all the other things that you're interested in, and we're not trying to have 100% monopoly. Like, we have strong beliefs about what we're doing. I personally love some of that, Feed the Cat stuff and Chris Corfus and whatnot. Like it's really, really important stuff. And I think it's really healthy that we maintain that ability to look at other systems and have conversations about other systems. Otherwise, I think we're heading to a not so good place, especially in the coaches community. So, thanks for sharing that as well.
Yeah, you made a good point there. And I thought about this as I was putting the slides together, and maybe it's a caution against, let's not turn into a community that is into a pissing contest and we're comparing dick sizes here. Like, let's probably not record that part, but because we call it Strength Coach Twitter, and I don't know how many people are really active on Twitter, but you throw something out there and it just gets torn apart instead of supported, right? And we might not, I think there's a lot of humility in this community that, hey, we're trying this, right? Okay, we're going to build this new system. Give us some feedback, right? And like you said, I don't like what I did 5 years ago, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one that doesn't like what they used to do. So it's just a matter of staying open-minded and not getting offended if somebody doesn't agree with you and things like that, because we all should be in this together, especially in this network where we can really kind of take over and change a lot of people's lives. So
yeah, 100%. No, well done sharing that, and obviously Lucas as well made a huge contribution to Real Movement and influenced ATG a lot as well, and he's doing really good stuff too. So yeah, it's cool to see all that in there.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it.
Champion, well done. Make sure you reach out to Wade if you're picking something up off that, or don't be afraid to start a conversation. Some of those connections can be really valuable as well.